COVID-19 has taken the lives of 116,000 U.S. citizens, according to Google statistics. Of the 100,000, almost 2,000 in Texas have lost their lives. There have been 2 million confirmed cases throughout the U.S. and close to 100,000 in Texas. This national pandemic has affected many lives by causing people to lose their jobs, family members, schools switching to online, and being unable to attend large gatherings. There have been precautions taken to decrease the spread, such as wearing face masks, ordering a stay-at-home quarantine, and keeping at least 6 feet apart if you must leave your house. But it all depends on citizens following these rules. As time goes on, businesses are starting to reopen with a certain capacity and are enforcing a 6 feet apart rule along with wearing face masks. Although businesses are reopening, the virus is still out there and cases are increasing the more people leave their homes. In San Marcos, the University of Texas State decided to switch to online classes a week after spring break. There was a stay-at-home order issued, and it was recommended that you only leave your house for necessities. Graduations for seniors got pushed back, all school activities had to be canceled, and Zoom or FaceTime was what students had to rely on. Being quarantined for so long makes people start to go crazy, and to stay sane, Walmart blow-up pools were the answer for many since all amenities were closed too. Pathos is shown through these actions because having to stay inside and not able to see your friend plays on your emotions. Coming up with creative solutions to entertain yourself was the only option you had to make the time pass by. Technology has been a huge benefit for solving boredom and a great way to stay connected with those you cannot live without, along with providing the chance to continue classes. For the past 2 years, I have attended Texas State, where I regularly attend face-to-face classes. I knew that going to university where professors were able to give great in-person lectures and focus more on in-class participation rather than online aspect would be a better choice for me because I find it easier to learn in person than an online format. So of course, when the world went into a global pandemic and universities were forced to shut down and only be available for online classes, this became a huge adversity that I was forced to overcome. Growing up and listening to the stories of all my family members and friends reminiscing on their college experiences, making me even more excited to be able to go and attend a very diverse university. Due to the coronavirus and universities being forced to shut down, this also means that any organization that we are participating in also required to suspend all current activities and cancel any future events. By canceling all of this, we missed out on an entire semester worth of fun memories to last a lifetime. Losing these experiences will play a large part in continuing our education. This plays into pathos of our decision to continue our college education. If the emotions and feelings you gather over the course of your first year aren't concrete, you won't feel the draw to go back to college. Using our emotions to fulfill our college experience, pathos is necessary to the college experience. By recognizing the issue of losing these experiences and using pathos, you can change your attitude towards this problem by focusing on your emotions. If you can focus your emotions into a positive attitude, you can take advantage of the opportunities and find other ways to hang out with your friends. College is supposed to be the best 4 years of your life, so looking on the bright side and living through this hard time will definitely be a year to remember. Another aspect of this problem is the credibility behind the teaching. Coinciding with the ethos of the situation, if the teacher is no longer teaching and instead canceling all classes, this is no longer a credible source for my education. If I am forced to teach myself the materials, this is not going to further my education. I do not have the background knowledge or education to complete the course load. This will put me at a disadvantage if the time comes that I must use materials from a certain course in the real world, and I never learned it properly. By using ethos, this problem requires me to find credible sources to teach me the material. Thankfully, I am able to contact my professors for any questions I may have or help I may need. Lastly, the structure behind the system is logically unfair. I paid a lot of money to go to a university and to get that face-to-face education. By transitioning to an online course load, the education structure that I signed up for is in danger. The unspoken contract between in-face classes and the students, the opportunities are greater. This advantage found through the connection made between professor and student is unmatched when compared to online classes. Along with this, the time management and organization necessary to keep up with the course load is necessary to be greater. By having efficient time management skills, you are able to complete your assignments in an efficient and timely manner. By being organized, you can have your assignments turned in on time and you will not miss a deadline. This problem is happening nationwide. This is not just specific to me. Speaking with other college friends at both my university and others, I realize these are very common issues due to this global pandemic. Students are having to change their ways and they must adjust to these schedules, these time management skills, along with technology necessary to complete these online courses. I hope by using Ethos, Pathos, and Logos, I can help change my solution to these projects in my mind and complete the online courses properly. Being a design student and having classes shut down, it was hard for me because you can't really be hands-on, and design is a hands-on education. So having classes shut down and having to meet teachers online during Zoom, it was hard to stay focused because it's a 3-hour long class and you're just listening to your teacher lecture you, compared to actually being in class and being hands-on doing projects. It's a different type of learning. And for me, I'm a very hands-on learner. That's why I chose design in the first place. But it was hard, but I was able to make the grades needed to pass the class and improve my GPA. But mostly it just helped for me to contact my teacher and talk to her about all the situations going on and get her help on things and her ideas on other things. And also it was a blessing because we were able to switch to like SketchUp and AutoCAD and software that we are going to learn in these upcoming years. So it was a good advantage to start learning those softwares now, because otherwise we would have been taking the time to learn them later on. And so now I feel like I have a step forward in design and moving on and for my future studio classes. So that is one way that I was able to correct the problem that was forced in front of me. It has also impacted me due to the fact that I could not come back home for several weeks due to the outbreak and not being sure if I had it or not, just because I wasn't able to get tested due to not being able to afford it and not having insurance that covered it. And it affected me by not being able to come home and see my nieces and nephews that have just been born and getting to know them and letting them get to know me, and also missing out on my cousins' weddings that were back to back, and not being here for my family through this national pandemic and the hard times that they faced along with me, and also not being able to work due to it, and not being able to support my family how they needed me to, and not being able to support myself how I needed to. And paying bills was a struggle, and having to talk to my leasing office due to not being able to pay my rent impacted me. And thankfully they were understanding because of the pandemic, and so they gave me a freebie, but they also we set a date onto where I would have enough money to cover rent, and then that impacted me by having to ask other family members for money. And so during this pandemic, it has been a struggle, but thankfully I have been able to start working again, and my family was supportive enough for me to help me. And that is how I solved my issues, by reaching out to others and having them reach out to me and staying as positive as possible.